Welcome to the Vaughan Advice Givers podcast. I interview Vaughan business owners, entrepreneurs, and thought leaders. Robert Caruso here, and my goal is to bring Vaughan residents the best advice from our community's brightest minds. This podcast is brought to you by the Value-Driven Approach to Sell Real Estate, a practical guide to protect yourself from real estate greed and bank an extra $30,000 in profit by thinking like the great Warren Buffett. For a free copy of this book, visit www.getafreebookforcharity.com. That's getafreebook4charity.com. It was a pleasure to interview Dwight Nelson from Bodies to Envy Fitness Studio. Dwight has been actively involved in the fitness industry since 1985. In fact, he's never missed a week of training since February 1986. There is no doubt that Dwight has extensive experience and knowledge in the fitness industry and can help people reach their fitness or health goals with his 5,000 square foot studio. You can check out the website and read more about the studio and his long list of accomplishments online. I'll have a link in the show notes for you. Enjoy the interview. Welcome everyone to another episode of Vaughan Advice Givers. This is Robert Caruso. I'm here with Dwight Nelson from Bodies to Envy Fitness Studio. Dwight, are you there?
Right here, sir.
Oh, perfect. So I want to thank you for joining us, taking the time out to be here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. So before we talk about you professionally, give me a few minutes. Give me a little bit about your backstory. Where did you grow up? What did you enjoy doing in your spare time? What did you do before you started your fitness studio, your gym, and training and all that?
Well, I came, I'm originally from Jamaica. That's where I was born. And I came to Canada in the early 70s, 71, with my parents, as a lot of immigrants did. We all came back around the 60s and 70s, so there was a big flush of us coming across. And I was always involved in sports ever since coming to Canada. Track and field, going through school, we all did it, through junior school and that. And I eventually got into Boy Scouts in the late 70s, which led me into, doing a little bit of work with the cadets. And I realized the importance of physical fitness and mental strength. So going into high school, I had that little bit of foundation, and I did every sport possible in high school. And I've always kept with the physical aspect and the mental game when it comes to who I am. And 1985, I was 15 years old, and I went to my first fitness center, which was Super Fitness, with a friend of mine named Derek Ingram, and pretty much haven't stopped, haven't missed even a week since 85 March, believe it or not. And I've missed 3 days once in 91 when I was really sick, but that's how committed I've been. I could not be any more committed. And I realized, I want to pass this on to people. I want to get people to experience the benefits of not only taking care of the mind, but also the physical being itself. And I decided to open my first company. I was in school in the late 80s. I went to Humber College originally for my personal training. That was the only school offering it at the time. It was very new industry-wise. And I got my first degree in personal training under PT Canada, it was called. And I opened up my first business in 91 in the Etobicoke, North York area, known as Nelson's One-on-One. I'm Dwight Nelson, so naturally Nelson's One-on-One is what I called it. 1,000 square foot units at Weston Road and Dixon area. And I began to train people out of this little facility, and it began to grow like there was no tomorrow. So I had to get a bigger location. So in 96, I went to a bigger location. And I opened up another facility called Best Results, Inc. with a partnership. I was in a partnership at the time. And that didn't work out very well because Dwight's so committed, and sometimes your partners aren't as committed as time goes on. And we ran that for about 5-6 years, and I realized it wasn't working out. And I came to Vaughan, and here I am in Vaughan in 2000. And I had actually helped a facility open up in Vaughan known as Bodies by Design. I actually gone to there to help them open. That's what I was notified by the owner. Hey, we're doing a gym. Can you help us? You got the experience, So I came up to Vaughan, and I realized Vaughan's a great territory for this industry. And in 2003, I established Bodies to Envy Incorporated, and I've done that since 03. It's been 12 years now, and I'm still enjoying what I enjoy doing, giving back to those who want it.
Excellent. That's it's a lot of information there, and I appreciate you sharing that with us. And you brought me a flashback, Super Fitness. Wow. It shows how old I am, eh?
Yeah, I'm right up there with you. Not too far behind, if anything. Right there.
So,
So yeah.
we already know that one of your biggest challenges was having a partner that doesn't have the same vision or doesn't share the same vision that you have. Is there any other challenges that you had while starting your career or your business or your businesses, I should say?
Most definitely. The industry of fitness and wellness is not as respected as, let's say, a doctor or a lawyer, or even somebody who's working in the administrative corporate world. My industry was viewed more of a fun, not that serious, not really a skilled trade in any real way. And that's where it's been hard because people will not miss their appointment with their doctors, but yet appointment with a personal trainer, they would easily miss it because of the lack of respect. I use the word respect, or how they view the industry as a responsibility. So to them, to most people, it was more of a, like to this very day, I find just not as of a serious commitment. It's the last on the list from a standpoint, and it's still a challenge. Also, to getting, I had to go to the bank to get a loan, and the bank, once again, because I'm not a restaurant or a office that's going to be selling condominiums or whatnot, I made it very challenging to be looked upon as, can we invest in you, Mr. Nelson, and we be guaranteed we're going to get our return. So these were the things I was facing originally in the early startup in the industry. Not as bad anymore because fitness is very mainstream, but definitely where there were some financial challenges when it came to working with banks and, of course, retaining your clientele and so on. So.
Yeah, I totally understand what you're talking about because it is so true. I mean, 20 years ago, even, right? I mean, the fitness industry was just, you're right, it was just a hobby for a lot of people. And now it's a full fledged, multi billion dollar industry, right? Okay, so let's pretend we can go back in time right before you started. Any of your businesses, knowing what you know now, what is one piece of advice that you'd give your former self?
Get yourself out there. I mean, what hurt me, I think, at the time too, was there was no internet, and the internet has been a blessing for people like myself. So I'd have to have look at other means of getting myself out there rather than just staying in my little area and giving out flyers door to door. I would go to companies, particular companies, Sears, Kmart at the time, and so on, and speak with them and maybe get them to have a corporate association with my company, with my business, and offer a reduced membership service to these companies that house thousands of people and enter it that route. Maybe approach some medical people, doctors at one time weren't saying go to the gym as they are now. So I would have introduced myself to the medical field a bit more and said, hey, listen, I'm here to aid in the area of fitness and health, which will keep your people healthier, and maybe we can branch out and all work together here. So I definitely changed my advertising and my networking approach if I could go back and do that.
Excellent. So I already think I already know the answer to this one, Dwight. So take me to a time when you thought that, wow, I'm making a difference. Now I already know what some of your answers are going to be, but yeah, you might as well tell us that story. What is it?
I realized I was making a difference. I'm going to be honest, probably not until 1995, 96, when people were coming back to me, clients I've worked with, and saying, thank you. I went to get a physical done. My numbers are fantastic. My back is a lot better. And I started getting some return from my people. Your people like you when you're getting bottles of wine and a lot of nice things coming your way because they're feeling appreciated for what you're doing for them. And that's when I began to realize I'm making a difference here. And it motivated me to do more. It really did. And I decided, what, I'm going to really take this thing to the next level and keep giving back even more so. And I found that what happened was a lot of people were not just so much into doing bicep curls, but they were more concerned about their health, my back, my knee. And I began to realize the wellness aspect in this thing is huge. And once again, we had no internet. So all I had was this little small circle of individuals that were telling me the benefits that we're actually getting. And I realized as time goes on, we're going to have to be a more healthy society. Wellness is very important. And that's to be the time. Mid-90s, 95, 96.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's just so good to hear. I mean, I do realize the importance of, back pain and, getting and overcoming that, the training to overcome that. That is just so important. People don't realize how important training really is, but it's good to hear that you're making a difference. So Dwight, I want to ask you a question to dig a little bit deeper here. So take some time on this one. Let's imagine you were dropped on an island and there was no other business like yours. There's no other training studio like yours. The locals there have no idea what physical fitness is. What are the benefits of them using your business or your services?
I would have to go with education. Often we don't have when I say education, I'm speaking to it from a general standpoint where, once again, exercise is just something you do just to get yourself looking good. Well, no, people, it's actually something that we do for life. It's like brushing your teeth, taking a shower. It's about who we are. And that's number one thing. Who we are is what we want to always remember. This whole thing starts there. Healthy eating. Eating healthy. What's eating healthy? Well, it's not about having a chicken breast and vegetables every day. It's about understanding that if I eat A, I can also have B. So there's a balance that has to be appreciated there. And often we lack balance, and especially in an island where, you're going to be all pretty much following one another. Balance often is something that we have a hard time truly working for us in that sense. Also, too, I think respecting one another. When you start to exercise, feel better about yourself, and view yourself differently, you begin to also view others on the same platform. So we view each other as the same from a mutual standpoint as well. And also, too, I'll also go one further and say, listen, from a medical standpoint, we need to be aware that we are all human. We all will get sick, and all we can do is our best to help preserve that and keep our immune as strong as possible, because the better our immune system is, the better quality of life we're all going to have. And that's really important as well. Lastly, the family dwelling. When we can pass this on to our youth and our upcoming children and so on, then we ensure, or at least have some kind of a guarantee that as the generations after us continue on this island that we're on, we're going to have a more healthy, better, responsible, happier, hopefully even less crime in environment, because we just have this way about ourselves. It really is the game changer. So I'd go with that.
Really want to thank you for sharing that. That's amazing. It honestly wasn't what I was expecting to hear. I'm really glad that you shared that information with us, because a lot of people don't think about that aspect of the training. Training their body. They're just thinking, yeah, healthy, bigger, stronger, whatever, thinner, losing weight. But I'm really happy you shared that aspect. So, one last question before we wrap up. What's an internet resource or an app like Google Calendar, Evernote that you couldn't live without?
Well, I'm going to go, for me, social media wise, I would go with definitely Twitter, but I think the app for me would have to probably be, I'm going to say Skype. Mm-hmm. Skype is the app. I've realized that that allows us to really broaden our horizons, and for anybody in business that wants to connect and network outside of the other apps out there, this Skype unites everybody in one full bundle. Even the person who's a garbage man, Skype can benefit from. So it's a great app. I'd have to go with app I can't live without. And I'm going to say Facebook. I mean, I know you said one, but Facebook and Skype, without those two, this world would not be the same for Dwight anymore. I'd have to leave the world and go to some other planet.
Well, think about it. I mean, I totally agree with you. I mean, you can help people so much just through using Facebook. I mean, think of the quality of the information that you could share with people to help better their lives, and especially if they're connected to you and they follow you and they listen to you and they belong to your gym or whatever, right? I think it's a great tool for you to use to help people even more. So.
Yes, I agree. And I also, too, the thing about it as well, I also say with Facebook, even if you're not drawing the kind of clientele, or it's, you may think that it's not working as efficiently for you. The truth of the matter is, sometimes you see something online and then you're at home with the wife or the kids or your friends and say, I was online today and I saw this guy's Dwight, and just talking about this health and fitness thing. And, I know some people that may be interested in speaking, or maybe it may awaken us up to maybe, maybe I should maybe try something. Even if not at Dwight's place, maybe I'll try it at my local YMCA. So it gives people the motivation, and it sometimes gives people the realization that we should at least do something, wherever, whenever, whatever your thing is, but maybe I should start doing something. And that's really the most important part of the social media aspect for me.
That's amazing. So, Dwight, leave us with one parting message. Is there a book you've read, quote that you live by that's helped mold you to who you are today?
Yes, the quote I live by is, we only have one life to live, and remember, you only have one body to envy.
Excellent. I really want to thank you for joining us today, Dwight. How would our listeners get a hold of you?
The best way to get a hold of me would be via my site, bodiestoenvy.com. I'm a small business, so I'd even like a phone call on my phone. You can call me at my place of business. I'm available pretty much all the time, 416-834-1701. Even if you just want to call and ask some questions, feel free to do so. I don't charge money for consultations. I'm not about that. I'm about helping all who I can, whenever I can. So feel free to drop me an email at 32live, Dwight at 32live.ca, or via my site. It's also my site. And my site's an information resource. I've got so much info there on eating, and I put a lot of free stuff out there for people to take a look at. So feel free to ask me any questions anytime, any place, anywhere. Pop into the gym even. Come by and say hello. It'd be great to have you.
Excellent. I've actually been to your website, and you do have a lot of good information there. And I will have all your contact info on the show notes so people can find you very easily, Dwight.
Thank you.
I appreciate you coming on, and we will talk again.
Yes, thank you for having me. I'm happy to have this enjoyable experience. Thank you again.
No problem at all. Talk to you soon.